Hello! This is the One Episode Rule podcast about first impressions. I am Magpie, and how are my co-hosts doing today? A little
I'm
sleepy?
a little sleepy.
A little sleepy.
I'm Blackle, and before the podcast started, I completely obliterated my desk clock in the marketplace of ideas.
I saw that.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm doing great.
I'm Joey, and I'm the sleepyhead. Hello. Haven't been up to much lately. Hey, I heard that there's is there another Lupin ripoff out on Netflix right now?
Well, I wouldn't know about ripoff. There's a crime show on Netflix, and I haven't investigated it yet. But
I haven't either, but I keep hearing about it, and I'm like, is that another Lupin? I guess the other one that was comparable to it maybe was Great Pretender.
Yeah. I just forget what it's called.
It's called like Super Crooks or something.
Like Super Crooks or something.
Something like that. I have to go investigate sometime.
That exists. If you want to look into that for us.
Yeah, maybe I'll do a little. Maybe I'll do a little recon for the team. We'll see.
All right, excellent. You guys want some news?
Yeah, let's have some news.
All right, let's get into the news. Jujutsu Kaisen 0 has surpassed 9 billion yen and become the 50th highest grossing film of all time at the Japanese box office, ensuring that it is now the new Mugen Train that will be in my news feed for the next year and a half.
Yep.
With different statistics about different movies that it has surpassed.
Which is wild, because I feel like it came out kind of around the same time as Demon Slayer, right? But, like, it's just now, like, getting that kind of hype. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but it seems like it was kind of, like, out for a bit, and then just now it's really getting that kind of, like, attention.
All right. Let's see what else we've got. A Japanese karaoke on demand service has released their most popular in the theme songs category, which is pretty vast for them.
Nice.
It's the second OP for Beastars.
Wow.
Incredible.
They fucking love it.
I guess it's a good one, huh?
Okay, here's another one. Maybe more relevant to me, but whatever. The original Vampire Hunter D soundtrack vinyl pre-orders are going to go live today. With them, you can get the soundtrack from the 1985 movie on 3 different custom vinyl pressings, one of which is filled with human blood.
Ooh.
Wow.
Which,
nice.
They appear to have done it correctly this time, because I've seen a human blood record before and it was just sort of pressed in there, but this one has a very slight cavity in the middle, so the blood will actually move around while it's on the record player.
Jesus.
That is, oh man, they really nailed the aesthetic with that, huh?
I would definitely buy it, but it is like $150.
Jeez. So, I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
I still haven't seen the original, which is weird because I'm like a sucker for.
I haven't either.
Vampire Hunter D.
Oh man.
Illustrated by Amano and shit.
Imagine donating blood and you're like, oh fuck, my blood went to save like lives, right? And they're like, no, we put this one in the record.
We put yours in an anime record.
You know what? I would be like, this is a lifesaver. I have saved a life with this, actually. I'm okay.
Also interesting to note that only one. You're only allowed to buy one, and double orders will be canceled immediately.
You.
So inefficient for actual vampires. Anyway, moving on to our last
Jeez.
bit of news. Speaking of Lupin ripoffs,
Oh boy.
Magnetic Press has announced a Kickstarter to reprint the original Arsene Lupin novel,
Oh.
upon which Lupin the Third is based.
Yes, this is a Lupin ripoff. I mean,
This is
everything else.
This is Lupin, a Lupin ripoff.
Everything else is a Lupin ripoff. This is the OG. This is real.
You can actually pretty easily get in on this for a reasonable-ish price. Like $35 gets you
Man.
the looks like the book, some metal coins,
Oh my god, no,
Seven of
don't tempt
Hearts
me.
key card,
Don't tempt me. Stop it.
all sorts of fun things. That's pretty cool. I should read that book sometime. It's just interesting on a base level.
Yes,
In
it
that,
is.
it's that Maurice LeBlanc saw Sherlock Holmes and said, "But what if crime and French?"
Yes,
That's pretty cool.
it is pretty good. Whew.
All right.
So you got a show for us, huh?
I got a show for you guys. I'm just going to take the wheel on this one and say, since we already talked about it, we should probably watch Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yes.
Because
I've been waiting.
I know a number of Jujutsu Kaisen stans already.
We have a couple of friends that actually keep asking us specifically if we've watched it on the show yet, and we're going to be able to say we have now.
And we're gonna use it. We're gonna use it to rope other friends into listening
Yes.
to the show.
We're going to be like, hey, you have to listen to our show because we talked about your boy this time.
Yes, it's true. We talked about your husbando. You have to listen now. Anyway, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right.
So, I have a joke for you guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's have it.
What's Yuji's favorite kind of food?
ladyfingers.
That's not what I was gonna say, but it's good.
Okay, what's your answer? Let's have
I was
it.
just gonna say finger food,
Oh.
or you could say chicken fingers, I guess.
Nah. Finger food's pretty good. That's a pretty good answer. So all of us here already knew he was gonna nibble that finger as soon as we saw it, I'm sure.
Michael might not have, but I already knew he was gonna eat it.
I knew he was gonna do it the moment they were like sort of standing in the hallway, and he was like, "This is good," and he's like, "People only eat it to like increase their demon power," and I'm like, "That's a Chekhov's gun right there."
That's a Chekhov's finger, which is nasty.
Chekhov's edible finger.
It's less nasty than you would expect Chekhov's finger to be.
It just kind of looked like a little piece of jerky.
So, who wants to hit this here blurb?
All right. I will. Idly indulging in baseless paranormal activities with the Occult Club, high schooler Yuji Itadori spends his days at either the club room or the hospital, where he visits his bedridden grandfather. However, this leisurely lifestyle soon takes a turn for the strange when he unknowingly encounters a cursed item. Triggering a chain of supernatural occurrences, Yuji finds himself suddenly thrust into the world of curses, dreadful beings formed from human malice and negativity. After swallowing the said item, revealed to be a finger belonging to the demon Sukuna Ryumen, the king of curses. Yuji experiences firsthand the threat of these curses. The threat these curses pose to society as he discovers his own newfound powers. Introduced to the Tokyo Metropolitan Jujutsu Technical High School, he begins to walk down a path from which he cannot return. The path of a Jujutsu sorcerer.
All right. So, first of all, we gotta establish we did flip the coin, and it landed on dub this time, so we watched it in English.
We did.
The
I
dub wasn't
think
well.
one of the funniest things I've heard is them casually throwing out jujutsu tech.
Yes. That was pretty funny.
They just be like, I just wanted to be wearing a hoodie and just be like, yeah, jujutsu tech, go Tanukis.
Yeah.
So anyway, do a rundown here. Yuji Itadori is a pink-haired sports idiot
Uh-huh.
who
He's
goes
good.
to normal school in Tokyo or its outskirts, and is part of the Occult Club. Well, he's not really part of the Occult Club.
He's kind of there because he likes them, and he's just like, you guys are my friends.
Well, it's not even that. He wants to be part of the Occult Club, but his but the track and field teacher has shanghaied him.
Yes.
So he has to, after calling in about his grandpa who's in the hospital. He goes to school and goes to his club meeting, and then has to duel the track and field teacher to get him
At
to
ball
release his fucking grip on him at ball throwing at shot put. The track and field teacher throws a respectable 18 meters. And Yuji, proving that he's the protagonist, manages to throw it 30 meters like a baseball and dent the soccer goal
Yes.
with it.
The face that the coach made when he did that was just like, so, like, I can't even, he looked like an emoji. His big bulgy eyes were just little circles.
Anybody would make that face. That's
Yes. It's impossible.
From the little I know about like Olympic shot put, he has thrown it like a bullet.
Yes. He could have killed someone.
It would have killed somebody if it had struck them. But so yeah, so he has to do that, and he goes to visit his grandpa in the hospital after school, who is a crotchety, horrible old man. But Yuji visits him because he's his grandpa and he loves his grandpa.
Yes.
Because you love your grandpa, even if he is a crotchety, horrible old man.
Mm-hmm.
And the grandpa manages to choke down being a crotchety, horrible old bastard for 1 minute to actually pass on some words of wisdom to Yuji, that he shouldn't end up like this.
Don't be like me, Yuji. Don't be like your grandpa.
Don't be a prick and drive everyone away. When you die, there should be lots of people here.
Yep.
And then he dies.
And then he rolls over and he dies immediately.
It's funny. Maybe like him letting his guard down finally killed him.
That's true. That's what killed him. If he had just kept it up, he would have lived. He would have gotten out of the hospital.
Yep.
Yeah.
A very effective character. I like him, and he was alive for a total of like 10 minutes in one episode.
Yeah. Which is funny because he's in the intro a lot, which implies like the implication is you'll be seeing Grandpa a lot, but then he just dies.
Maybe there'll be flashbacks to him.
Yeah, it could happen.
But yeah. So little did Yuji know this whole fucking time, when he's been going about his normal ass human day and attending to his dying grandpa and hanging out with the Occult Club and getting out of sports, he's been being followed.
Yes.
He's been being followed by one. What is this dude's name?
Did they even say his name?
Motherfucker Supreme.
Fushiguro Megumi, who's who's from Jujutsu Tech, and whose job is to track down cursed items.
Yes.
Because apparently there was a cursed item kept at their high school as a sort of lightning rod.
Yeah, like
to draw away other evil.
They explain it as this. Schools usually keep a cursed item, and I was like, who's in charge of assigning the school their designated cursed item?
Mm-hmm.
But it's supposed to it's supposed to scare off the worst curses.
It's funny, they just put it into like what looked like a dove hutch or something.
Yeah.
You know,
just a little box.
The thing about Japan is that they subsidize the schools, like the government will subsidize the cursed item to protect the school, but in America and Canada, like the teachers have to buy it with their own money, and I think that's just horrible.
Yeah. It is fucked up.
From my school experience, if I could probably, if I thought about it really hard, remember a cursed item from each school that I've been to.
Yeah, no, it's true.
There's at least one thing on each campus I was taught on that would probably qualify as a cursed object.
Yes, correct. But anyhow.
Fushiguro went to go and check on theirs because apparently it is quite old and needs some seeing to, and also is extremely evil, and found it missing from its place because the Occult Club had taken it for funsies, because that's the sort of thing Occult Clubs do.
They're like, let's see what's in here.
He followed Yuji around because Yuji had been carrying the box all day, but the actual item, a wrapped mass, had been taken out and was currently at school being opened by the other two members of the Occult Club, like a grisly mummy unwrapping from the Victorian age.
Yeah.
Fushiguro says, this is bad fucking news because they're going to die and probably kill a bunch of other people by doing this. So they have to run down there and stop them. They don't stop them. They do unwrap it.
They already unwrapped it by the time they got there. They get there and they just bump into a wall of stank energy.
Yeah, just
Man, the school's really stinky today.
Yeah, the wall of stank energy surrounding your school when the cursed item is going off.
Relatable content for everyone.
Relatable content.
Happens to all of us at some point.
And then the next day you go to school and you find out one of your teachers is not going to be a teacher anymore because they did a crime.
Yeah, oh God. Jesus Christ. Anyhow.
I feel like that happened to everybody exactly once. And they were just like, oh, the science teacher is gone.
Regrettably, this happened...
he sold drugs. Oh, I see.
Regrettably, this happened 3 years after I had left the school.
Oh, you missed yours.
It's like, oh, they've been that this whole time. Oh God. Wait, that happened twice to me.
Yeah, no, mine was like a year or two after I left my school, so I did hear about it secondhand.
I'll have to ask you guys. I'll have to get your answer to this later. But I feel like you also have at least like 2 or 3 grisly deaths at your school too. But
oh yeah,
that may have just been my cursed school where everybody died horribly.
No, I have a death story for my school.
We'll have a little chit chat about cursed objects in schools and stuff.
We'll do it after the email anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have to rush in to save the other characters whose names are not on the main characters list for my anime list. So I do not remember them, and they are clearly not main characters.
They're in the process of getting eaten. That's all you need to know. But
you know what? They are charming enough. Even though that one guy does look like a 30-year-old man instead of a high schooler.
He's fine. Every school has the one guy that looks too old to be there.
Well, sometimes he just have old man face, and it's not.
Yeah.
Okiyasu had it. He looked like he's 45.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so yeah, they're in the process of being hunted and eaten by demons. You know, basically the cast of antagonists from fucking Devilman have showed up.
Yes, regular school activities. Anyhow.
So Fushiguro goes to do his fucking job and does it pretty well. He summons his wolfos, and they eat him up, and they recover. And Yuji, who was told to stand outside, but suddenly had a case of "I remember my grandpa's parting words to me."
He had a case of "those are my friends" syndrome.
Did burst through a second-story window. It looked like. No, it was probably first floor. And kicked the cursed spirit and retrieved his friends and the finger, leaving Fushiguro to dispatch him. Seems like everything's wrapped up. They talk about how it's a blessing that thing didn't get to eat the unwrapped finger, which was the cursed item. And Yuji says, "Why? Is it good or something?
Is it good? Is that a good snack? Is this crunchy, nasty-looking little beef jerky finger? Is that yummy?"
This guy's got a really open mind.
It is a human finger.
But is it yummy though?
Is it yummy?
And Fushiguro says, "No, you would only eat that to get more cursed."
And Yuji's like, interesting.
Right then, even huger, more horrible demon shows up and kicks the shit out of Fushiguro. A very dramatic moment, throws his ass all the way through a wall out of the building, and Yuji decides he has to fight it, but since this follows stand rules, you can't damage it if you don't have cursed energy.
If you don't have your own stand, yes.
So he's in for a losing battle until he gets the bright idea to, hey, I should just eat that finger.
Yeah.
And
he does just slurp it down in one bite.
And you know what? It works. He does one punch man that spirit. He just annihilates it.
He explodes the shit out of it. And
but his new problem is that he gets to be possessed by the finger's previous owner.
Well, apparently this thing, most of the time, this just kills the man. Most of the time, supposedly, this just makes you die if you do it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be extremely poisonous.
Yes.
But
it's a quote-unquote a 1 in a million chance that it can reincarnate.
And yeah, he gets to hang out with a demon who owned that finger previously, known as Sukuna, which means that Fushiguro has to exorcise him, and that's where the episode ends.
Yes. So it does explain why they had a cold opening of
him sitting in a fucked up Japanese magic room.
Yes, surrounded by so many candles, and a character that we will meet later, called Gojo, is there saying, "I'm going to kill you."
It's like, we actually have to kill you.
No hard feelings, but you do have to die.
Pretty good cold open. All right, so I'm gonna open the floor to opinions now.
I want to say something about this. So
go ahead.
Yes.
This Yuji guy, he's kind of a freak. Like,
a little bit.
He's able to throw a metal ball, very fast. One kid comments that he runs faster than his car.
Yes.
And he's able to jump through a window of unknown height. That's a little bit. Jury's out on that one. If that one's.
He's able to kick the shit out of a demon in hand-to-hand combat with no magic powers.
He's able to eat a finger, so that's also going for him.
I don't know. I'm able to eat a finger.
Yeah. Also, 2022 is the year of biting fingers. I'll say that much. And
all right.
Also,
valid to eat fingers. Yuji Itadori is a horse.
After Sukuna starts taking over his body, is just like, hey, that's my body, and he sort of takes it back. So he's apparently more powerful
Yeah,
than the
he's just
finger
like,
grenade.
what do you mean you're controlling me? He's just
Yeah.
like, this is my body, you demon bitch.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey,
So the thing about this character being a lot more powerful than you'd first initially assume, he's a bit unassuming. It feels like this is the kind of show that would happen that if you like if you were high and you explained to your friend who was also high the plot of Mob Psycho 100.
Yes.
And then like 2 years later they explained that to another friend while they were both also high. And
But then
the
they
show
were like,
happens.
but let's take it more seriously too.
And they get confused with like the plot of like a different show as well.
mm,
Yeah, they
Like,
dashed maybe a little Naruto in there too.
mhm.
Just like a
I'm-
tiny sprinkling.
I'm kind of curious about this because this sort of shit usually isn't your thing, Blackle. How did you like it actually?
I liked the yeah, you kind of pegged me where it's not normally my thing, and I honestly
I mean,
wouldn't be
I would
interested in
never,
watching any
but
more of
anyway.
it, but I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it, but I probably wouldn't watch more of it.
Fair enough.
All right, because this scratches an unusual itch for me.
Hmm.
Because there is a part of me that watched a surprising amount of Naruto.
Yes. It does itch it's got
And
that
I-
shonen
and I
good
thought-
shonen stank on it, that's all.
I thought that part of me was broken by Bleach. A show which caused me after like 65 episodes to just go, what the fuck am I doing? Jesus. And
To be
turn it
Gotta
off.
get out of here.
To be fair, it looks nice. Like it's animated well enough.
Mhm.
It's got a pretty decent like hook to it.
I think
I
this is what happens when you take something with that kind of core, that kind of appeal, and you give it to somebody who kind of knows what they're doing.
Yes, exactly. Like this has elements of like all of the shows. Like we've got some elements of Bleach in there. We've got some elements of Naruto. We've got some elements of Mob Psycho. We've got all of that fun little stuff sprinkled in there. But it's just different enough that like you're just like, okay, I'm interested in this actually.
Because I'll say this, like I watched a fair amount of Naruto, and let me tell you, Kishimoto is not a great author. I liked parts of that, but a lot of it doesn't go together very well.
Mm.
A lot
Yeah.
of the plot in that story is outright stupid, and a lot that can be said of a lot of shonen shows. But this feels like the good parts without the bad parts.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's hard to judge just from the first episode, but like, you know, the comedy was like pretty
It was on
like
point.
toned down compared to a lot of those shows. But like when it hit, it kind of did good. Like the moment where what's his face came in there and was like, "Hey, I need to talk to you," and Yuji was just like, I'm in mourning."
That was fun.
I am mourning my dead
cackled.
grandpa.
I cackled when he said that.
Uh-huh.
I actually like some of the English dubbing as well. It does have the voice actors have comedic timing.
Yes, exactly.
It's particularly for Shiguro at the beginning, where he's talking to somebody about finding the cursed object when he doesn't find it where it's supposed to be.
Mhm.
And the guy's just like, I guess you can't come home until you find it. And he's just like, I'm going to punch you.
Yeah,
And-
I'm gonna punch that guy.
And he hangs up and he's just like, I'm going to punch him.
Yeah, no, this was a pretty decent dub too. I have to say.
Yeah.
It gets a little DBZ in places, but I don't think it's possible to avoid that in a shonen.
Yeah, no, it's not. Just by the sake of what they're doing.
They gotta be just as surprised as the viewer.
Yeah. Another thing I have is Occult Club. Is that a popular concept in Japan? Because there's been like several shows that I've watched where they have an occult club.
I'll say
This
this.
is
I
explicitly why I made that comparison to Mob Psycho 100, because there's not only an occult club, but also there's a track and field club, which also like is important to the story.
Yes.
uh,
And it is Mob specifically who is between occult club and track and field. Like he's like, look, I want to be in your occult club, but also I want to be on track and field.
I want to get
it's
stronger.
the body improvement club.
Yeah, but I mean,
And
it is a lot of running track and field, and they do often leave him stunned on the ground.
Well, I'm just saying that like track and field like undersells the fact that everybody in that club is like a Herculean
They
monstrosity.
do. But we can't talk about Mob Psycho on our show about Jujutsu Kaisen because
But anyway, like I was saying, I know of a bunch of anime that have occult clubs, and
Yes.
I know of at least one manga that centers almost entirely around the occult doings of a boy and the girl who puts up with it
yes,
as a romance. And yeah, it seems like Japan just really loves the occult.
they love. This is like if I
They're-
went to my high school and I was like, "Hey, can we start a ghost club? Can we start a
ghost
ghost
hunting.
hunting club?" You know
It
what?
would be
I would.
it
It would be rad.
it would be a harder sell in America.
Yeah,
But I
that's what I'm
think it
saying.
wouldn't in Japan.
Exactly. I think it would be cool. I think there would be high schoolers that would be into it, but then there would also be high schoolers that would be like what am I trying to say?
I feel like you could make an
against
allegory
it.
for like you could make an allegory for a GSA by like being at the occult club.
God.
There's also the fact that Japanese high schools operate significantly differently, and you have to be in a club.
Yeah, no, I mean that is true.
So they're going to make up a lot of clubs.
They're going to be like, what club can we form? We can form the fucking cheese club. I don't know.
We're going to form the fucking charcuterie club. We're gonna sit here, or we're gonna eat aged cheese and pretend that we're drinking wine.
We're gonna drink de-alcoholized wine and eat cheeses.
Eat hard salami.
It's funny. That's all.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see. Like, what did I like out of this? It's very cleanly animated. The character designs seem like good thus far.
Yes.
Everybody. You know when a show has like same face syndrome, and Jujutsu Kaisen does not appear to have same face.
No,
syndrome.
it doesn't. Thankfully, I do want to say again, we got just a tiny bit of Naruto spice in there because Yuji has a bit of Nart energy. He's got the spiky hair.
I don't believe that. I'm going to strongly disagree with you, because if he had Nart energy, I would hate him.
No, I'm saying in his character design, not his actual character.
I would say
look within yourself. You know you like a little Nart.
No, I actually that's probably the reason I didn't continue being a fan of that show, is I cannot fucking stand the main character. I can stand him I can't stand either of his voice actors either.
Look, all I'm saying is spiky-haired, bubbly little protagonist boy, versus Gojo, who is our Kakashi-esque.
Gojo is a Kakashi, but I would say that Itadori actually has a lot more Ichigo from Bleach energy.
Yeah, I could see that actually.
He's a little goofier,
yeah,
which is good, but no, he's not like grating like Naruto is.
Yeah.
And I like this character. He's a pink-haired dipshit. He's got protagonist hair color.
Yes.
He's unusual like that.
Hair color.
Yeah, his hair is more of a pink lemonade than a...
Let's see. I like the cursed spirits quite a lot. They're
yes.
They're not quite as good as something like Mieroko. Mieroko. But
right. But they are pretty
they're pretty good. They got
fun.
They got big teeth That
Big
seems to be
teeth.
a design thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool. Let's see. And yeah. What?
When they stole the fingy, I didn't realize that it was supposed to be a wrapped up finger in there, and I was like, they're gonna smoke this cursed plant.
They're gonna take a fat rip off this mummy joint.
God. I feel like I wonder if that would also give you the
They're
power.
they're they're just in the occult room. They're just like, oh man, this is some Illuminati Pharaoh shit. Oh damn.
Is it good?
No. Do you want some?
Oh no.
Anyhow,
No,
that's
I can't.
just what I thought when I saw it. That's all.
No, I can't go on. Anyway, if you'd like to tell us about the last mummified human body part you smoked with your friends, you can do that at oneepisodecast@gmail.com.
That's one word, not the number. You can also tweet us. Tell us if you think Yuji is a Naruto-like, please. We're also at One Episode Cast on Twitter.
So you wanna dish about cursed high school experiences?
What's your cursed high school experiences?
I'm not gonna say who this happened to out of respect for them, because good lord. I didn't know them personally, but somebody in my class in high school straight up fell out of a window onto a cast iron fence,
Jesus.
like a slasher movie.
Were they okay?
No.
I mean,
They
did
die?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Was this while you were attending?
Yeah, that was while I was at school, and nobody told us. It had to go around town to get to us because nobody could bear mentioning it to the kids at school.
My God! I mean, how could they?
Yeah,
That's
it's
horrifying.
awful. That's the most cursed thing I remember from school. Good, because good lord. And then you had your selection of teachers that suddenly stopped being employed, and you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, I wonder why that happened. And
Uh-huh.
you never find out, but you just hear it's just like, oh, they were dating one of the students or something.
Yep, no, that was my art teacher who,
Oh no.
hey, she was my favorite teacher. And then they were oh, she's not a teacher here anymore for this specific reason. And I was like, Miss Fox, no.
It was somebody else's favorite teacher too. Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah, that happened to my middle school gym teacher and my high school math teacher.
Woof.
Yeah.
Woof.
And at my high school, this was like in 2001 or something, so way before I went to the high school, but one of the kids like killed another one of the kids by hanging him in a tree.
Oh lord.
And apparently the tree's still there.
This is the worst post-episode content we've ever produced.
Yeah.
No one died at my school. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? At least not while I was attending. Jesus Christ.
I don't know what to tell you.
We gotta get the fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here. This is too much. Bye, everyone.
Bye.